Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We want to welcome you to our latest broadcast today. Hey, Latanya.
Hey.
We are here to invite you and usher you into a new economic reality, and we are your two expert money charmers, Sensei Sabira and Latanya Taylor, the Rev Coach. Hey. So, yeah, seriously though, guys, we are excited to be here for another installment of our show today. And do we have a show for you? Yes, we do. All month we are talking about holistic selling that pays. And this month this week, actually, we're going to speak about something that I think is going to be near and dear to your heart, you entrepreneur folks that are with us watching our show. We're talking today about the art, because it is an art, the art of not selling yourself out. The art of not selling yourself out. Look, if you've been in business for a day, a week, a month, a year, or 10, there's usually some point in the process, probably at the beginning and sometime midway through even, where you just feel like, I want a customer. What do I need to do to get a client? What do I need to do? And some of us, I'll raise my hand, have, especially at the beginning, been willing to undersell my services. What I knew I was really worth, what the value I knew I was bringing to the table. Sometimes it was that I so badly just wanted to be doing the work I wanted to do on the planet rather than some other job. And sometimes it was other things. But the bottom line is, Latanya and I are committed on this show creating a new economic reality. And when you own a business, one of the first things anyway, is to make sure you don't sell yourself out. What do you say, Latanya? What do you say?
I absolutely can align with that in my own experience. And like you said, there are many reasons that, we will sell out ourselves, our business, our worth. And sometimes it's very covert. And it actually flows from a lack energy, a desperation energy. And when you have a passion or a desire, you really want to get it out. Like you said, you can say, well, I just want to do the work. I just want to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And before you know it, you are doing the work and you're not getting a return on your investment. And that certainly leads to a lot of questioning, doubt, sometimes resentment or burnout with the business, because you're busy doing things, but you aren't necessarily getting the return on your investment. And then, of course, selling out is all of the flashing lights and glowing symbols that we see in the marketplace now. I think we talked a little bit about it on another episode where we were talking about how now everybody is talking about a brand. Before, with access to the internet and to mainly social media has influenced that people are leveraging people's access to them. And I use the example of reality TV. And so people are creating brands. Everybody has a brand. And so the thing is, you are either selling or being sold to at all times, particularly in the Western Hemisphere. It's just what you need to know.
Wow. Now that's something, and that I think is, sometimes difficult for people to wrap their minds around, especially those of us who kind of move from a spiritual place. We don't want to believe that we are either selling. I mean, it's easier to, I think, accept that, the messages are always coming to us trying to sell us something, but that we are participating in that for someone else, for their experience of us. Sometimes it is that we are, even if it's an idea, a thought that you want people to buy into. Um, you've got an agenda that you have running maybe in the back of your mind. Is that kind of what you mean?
Well, no, what I mean is sometimes you'll get consultation or think that you need to go for the most glossy thing, the most glossy presentation of yourself. And it may not be really who you are. It doesn't align with who you are or your authentic brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because a person may want to get the return on the investment, then they begin to do all of the fancy stuff, but it's not authentic. It doesn't line up with who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
I heard one coach say that, if you're not a blogger, then don't blog. That's what I mean by selling out.
Oh,
But because all of the other coaches or massage therapists or other educators or people who are making products, they have some type of blog, then you try to blog and you try to do Facebook and you try to do Twitter and you try to do the next thing. Or if you are not a speaker, don't speak.
maybe you're a blogger. So right.
Maybe you're a blogger, and that's where you make your signature. If you're an artist, then maybe you communicate your messages through your art. You don't do a lot of words. But sometimes, because there's so much marketplace advice out here and there's so much over, there are people who will tell you that you need to be doing all of these things. And that's a way of selling out your brand. Another thing is that I had an elder, a very successful elder, who told me, well, because everything is free out here, you just may have to price yourself at, it was ridiculously low.
Wow.
But that was her model. Her model was a struggle model. It was more of, it wasn't, that was, so, and then because someone said it like that, you have to be able to check in with yourself to see if that aligns with you.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there is true, because I love video, and a lot of people that I work with, or just kind of run in circles with, are not about, they ain't trying to put their face on a video camera and make videos and edit video. They're not trying to do that. They're right. Much more comfortable. They're writers, so maybe they blog, or I'm just really comfortable speaking and getting up and just doing this impromptu thing. And that's not, there's a lot that you have to kind of get through when you're doing video. So you got to really go inside and see what am I about and how am I wired, and go with that. Because ultimately, if you're trying to do everything, you're going to get nothing done.
That's right. That's exactly right.
You're running around trying to get everything. You're trying to do everything. You get nothing done, and then you're not able to be who you came to the planet to be, and to provide the services and expertise that you actually have. And I refer to that really as medicine. Whatever it is your gift is, it's a medicine for somebody who is having some sort of pain or discomfort, something that they're not happy with in their life, and you bring the solution. You're the medicine.
I'll give another practical example. I had a friend who, we attended an event together, and I remember her first reaction was like, oh my God, like, she was doing the math on how much each person was paying to attend this event, and how easy could it be for her to do the same thing. She said, surely I can, do that, and jumped into doing some events.
Okay.
And the event was definitely, supported, but went into debt. She went into debt doing it.
Mm.
Um, the yeah, so once you sometimes when you get out there to do something, you're kind of out there. And
Mm-hmm.
then you know, she did something else, and it was no longer any joy in it for her.
Right.
And so, and then the profit margin wasn't as high. Well, here's the backstory. The other
Mm.
person who had been doing events, that person had been doing, had a following, had been really seeding and doing other work for
Mm-hmm.
years.
Uh-huh.
So you know, sometimes we'll go to something or go attend something, go experience something for the first time and say, I can do that, and or I'll do it, or I'll do it better, or surely I could do it. And we don't know the backstory. We don't know
Yeah.
how long it's taken for someone to build to this crescendo that you walk in on. And
Mm.
so you just sold yourself out because you thought that it was so easy to replicate and do the big and shiny thing.
Yeah, that's it's actually it feels like, because I've done it. I mean, I don't know if you have, I've done it. Thinking, I was looking at an overnight success. And, while there may be some overnight successes, those are usually not sustainable. Okay. So that's an important thing to realize. And it's the people who are sustainable, their work actually looks quite boring. They do some simple things over and over again every day in and day out, to build. Like you said, they build up to a crescendo. But what's happening is they're building it so slowly that it looks to us like nothing is happening, right? And
Well, in some cases, you don't know because you just came in on it. So you don't even know that nothing is happening, or something happened all of a sudden. You
right,
don't know anything. You don't have any context.
you have
You just
no
came in
contact.
on.
Exactly. So, as our teacher used to say, Yanla, look, you don't have all the information you need to make a decision about what you think you're looking at.
I know, you know, I was thinking about her because she also used to tell us, you want to be Jan Van Zandt, then do the work of Jan Van Zandt. And then we used to say it another way in ministry. Sometimes we want somebody else's anointing, but
Mm.
that's not, it hasn't been issued out to us. And so we look over our own or diminish our own
Right.
because, you know, and so another way of selling out is basically brand theft. Now I understand that there's nothing new under the sun, and that many people get inspiration from their mentors, and sometimes you sound like your mentor, talk like your mentor, even if you're not even trying to. I'm not talking about that. People say that they used to say, I don't know, I think I've made my mark enough in doing this work, but people used to say, gosh, whenever you stand up, I definitely see and hear a Yamla. Um, and why wouldn't you? You know, because
Mm-hmm.
that's, that's I spent a lot of my years, you know, being trained and being prepared with her and with others who we probably all sound like. In fact, there is a language, there's a speakeasy amongst every tribe, every place that you get your training from. And so sometimes you become a conglomerate of many different things. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about definitely when you compromise your own capacity to be able to deliver over and over again because you're trying to jump out into something that looks like it glitters and it's not gold.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Good point. Good point. Well, I think another way that folks can sell themselves out is by not
Mm-hmm.
understanding really what they're doing, what marketing and what sales is actually about. Okay. It's not about pushing your product, your service onto people.
I agree.
It is not about that. And if we can shift in our mind and go back to holistic selling, involves marketing and selling from a place of, I want to put myself in the marketplace to be available for the people who are looking for my services and my products, my expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all. It is about finding our own authentic voice. And like you said, Latanya, we all have influences of where we've been.
Mm-hmm.
They become a part of you. Anytime anybody you spend a lot of time with, they become a part of you.
Right.
But the work is really speaking your message enough, massaging your brand, your down to the colors that resonate with you and resonate with the people you want to work with. And the words, like you said, the speak easy, the words that will resonate with that tribe, so that when you speak, they hear your voice and they know, oh, wait, I could go to a million. Let's say I need my carpets cleaned. There's a million carpet cleaners here where I live. But I'm going to look for a carpet cleaner who has certain attributes where I'm going to feel comfortable as a customer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about just getting the carpet cleaned. It's about a carpet cleaner who's going to create an experience for me that is a good experience for me. So us as, being entrepreneurs, it's about, if I'm a life coach, there's a million life coaches out there, but none of them bring what I bring. Although, we all as coaches have a certain way we speak and all these other things, but nobody has my particular voice, which is why, Latanya, me and you can share a stage together. I don't have your voice, you don't have my voice, and we don't try to have each other's voices. But we're both spiritual life coaches that bring value, and people who are looking for the experience that I create will resonate towards me. And all I have to do is put myself out there. That's the marketing, which is why there's no shame in my game when it comes to marketing and sales, because I realize I'm going to attract, and I'm only looking to attract those people who are looking for me.
Right.
I'm trying to give them an easy path to me. That's what, marketing and sales means to me now. And that's created a selling system for myself that actually gets me paid.
That's a very good point. I remember, another, before I share a story, but what's really important is the algorithms for a lot of the tools that we use, particularly for online marketing, change so frequently.
Yeah.
And so it's just very important for a spiritual entrepreneur to be clear about what matters to them. And I know this conversation may sound mixed, that we're talking about a brand versus selling yourself out. And I definitely want to hone in on the point of selling yourself out, and rather than how to brand and that type of thing right now. But what I want to say, though, about it is that preliminary work really does help you to get clear so you don't sell yourself out. Yep. So, if you are working a job on, which is absolutely no shame in doing that. If you're working a job or you are doing something part-time while you're building your business, the one tip that I will definitely give you is to prepare far as much as you can, far enough in advance, so that you are clear about at least your idea. And that's a part of the coaching services I know that I offer, is helping to get clear on the vision. Because what happens is, many of us have heard in scripture where it says, write the vision and to make it plain. And so even if you aren't jumping right into business planning, just have some type of schemata about what it is that you see. Start there and then grow it, and to see then, well, like Sabir said, well, what problem am I solving? And then, then I would say, match up the tools that you enjoy. I think that's very, very key.
Oh, yeah.
The tools that you enjoy. And until you can get yourself to a place where you can have maybe some help in using it, or using other tools, or using it in another way. At one point, I used to tweet all of the time, but my lifestyle changed a bit. And the way that I was tweeting was that I was tweeting like on my way to a contract that operated at 9 to 5 hours. It was my own business, but it was contract. And so I had commute time when I rode the train to tweet and to just stream information. And so once I started working full time, I realized how much time I would have to dedicate, to have a consistent stream, because I did have a stream that connected like a storyboard. And I didn't just tweet randomly or post quotes. And I had to really make a decision how much time I was going to invest in these different outlets before I, tried to put all of that pressure on myself, plus create content, plus do all the other management pieces that a business requires. Because oftentimes when you start off, you don't have the budget to hire an assistant or have a team. And that could be another way that you sell yourself out, is that you jump in thinking that you have to run your non-traditional business the same way that you worked your 9 to 5. That might not be it.
True. You said, excuse me, you said something that threw my mind to the opposite. Okay, so you said a lot of times we may not have, especially when we're just starting, we may not have the cash flow to hire support. And so here's what we do, and I'm telling on myself. Here's what I've done. So I will go out and I start buying all these other software.
That's a good one.
Programs. I need this, I need that. All these things that are coming up in my email. And before I know it, I've sold myself out, because damn it, if I'm not the customer again, all day long. So here's a really simple, but oh so powerful thing that y'all can do. Take your name off all them email lists. Unsubscribe. Honestly, if you want to learn how to if you want to begin doing holistic selling that pays so that you don't sell yourself out, you've got to move yourself on the other side of the cash register. And then you got to be okay with that. Like, I know there are certain tools that I absolutely need in my business and will not give up. Okay. There are certain tools that I know this is actually, taking me forward. But what I also know is there's a whole bunch of lists that I got myself on because I thought, oh, that looks good. And that a shiny object, I was there chasing it. And I have to go and unsubscribe to all these lists. Because number one, it's either going to suck up my money in little bits, like, oh, it's only $27. Oh, it's only $45. Oh, I could afford that. I could do that. Next thing you know, you got a bill of $200. How did I do this? Maybe only me. I don't know.
No, I tell my clients the same thing. The first thing people want to do a lot of times when they start walking in their vision is to go run and get a website. And one of the things that I share is you don't have to do that first. You don't have to go get a website first. Not today with social media.
That's right.
And so save yourself the headache of jumping to spend $500-$600 or more on a website. Um, and so I start working with them like, okay, what tools do you have in front of you? You know, what, and not only that, you know, not to give away everything that happens in private, you know, coaching, but again, it goes back to really what is it that, what are you here for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And does that really fully align with what it is that you are, you know, endeavoring to do? Um, a lot of I'm going to say this, and I won't give everything away again, because we're going to go into more detail about it in the Money Charm Club, especially at level 2.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of people want to go out and create a bunch of Facebook pages. I have a
Oh,
client,
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
have a client right now who I told, you know, work the one page that you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you do that, it really does confuse. It confuses your audience as well. And so that's another way of, you know, selling yourself out. And I think the focus in this conversation today is on the word out, because you're putting out and you're looking out. you're not you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing anything to really generate the income.
Right.
And you know, you are your brand. And so when you're trying to be just like somebody else, or have the exact same success that they're having, then you're
Mm.
selling yourself out.
Mm. Mm. And, you know, I think you have to, you know, we have to understand, why is it that people buy from us? That is like so critical. Once we get really clear about what is it that I'm offering that is unique, or in what way am I offering something that is unique?
Mm-hmm.
And when you can keep your eye on that as your central focus, your uniqueness, um, you know, the selling yourself out it'll stop. You won't have to be, you know, going a mile a minute, running from this. Oh, this isn't working for 30 days and I need some more money. Let me run over here and let me try this, and that ain't work. That does not work, will not work, is not sustainable, and there's nothing unique about it. You become a busy little bee like everybody else. And I'm just going to talk about the online space because that's what I know. I've never tried a retail establishment or anything. Um, but what I know is there are a ton of people in the online space offering all sorts of product, services, what have you. And they're calling themselves, you know, entrepreneurs. I saw a term the other day that I really like, which is wantrepreneur. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
they want to be entrepreneurs. They're wantrepreneurs. Um, they're
Entrepreneurs.
wantrepreneurs, you know, because they've never gotten clear on what their unique offering
Wow.
is.
That's, who said that? That's kind of cute though.
A wantrepreneur. Yeah. You know, they've never gotten clear about what it is they're offering
Right, 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 right.
and gotten stable on, this is who I am and this is what I offer. Um, you know, if you do your homework and you find out what the particular marketplace niche is, that you're serving, what the actual pain is, what the frustration points are there, and you find out one sweet spot that you can serve, you will no longer be selling yourself out, running hither and thither all over the place, wanting to be an entrepreneur. Now, bottom line is this: if at some point your your selling outward hasn't somehow turned into income at some point. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, it may take a while to figure this out. And that's why you got to start, you know, I would recommend that you start incrementally and scale yourself up. because there's so many moving parts that we have to master or create a masterful team around us to support us with, um, so that we don't end up selling ourselves out, selling out our brand, selling out our message, or just not selling at all. Is what I'm trying to say in this particular point, that you're just not selling at all. And that would be, for me, that would feel really sad for me.
Well, there are some people who do, they may have some success for a while, where you are selling, I do know of some coaches who have some very high ticket sales. They have books and everything. And then it's like, that thing may have had a life cycle again because it wasn't a match for who they really were. And the other the other piece is, I think because I am Mercury,
okay,
I'm in Gemini, I think about the person who does sometimes have to hit the road running, because everybody is not an entrepreneur by choice. Some people are entrepreneurs by force. And so, Sabira, while you tend to talk about the slow and steady, and I am talking about if you can choose the slow and steady, we are going to have some people who are tuning in who had to do it. They had to jump in because of a job loss, a layoff, or whatever, maybe even a small business that they really didn't have any plans on it growing so fast that they chose the small business instead of the 9-to-5. You may be excelling at a rate that's much faster, and then you have to do your conceptual work, and so that's okay too. There's sometimes it does. The thing about I think Sabir and I were talking last week, even though we didn't broadcast, by the way. But we met, and one of the things that we were talking about is chaos. There is, as much as you plan, and there is some chaos to being an entrepreneur that takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
And if we aren't careful, we could scatter ourselves before we know it, especially pulling on everybody's thread. I'll give you another example. I'm a part of a business circle. It's a lifetime circle. In fact, I'm a part of two. And one of the things that someone said, who should I follow? And everybody responded with different suggestions on who they should follow. And I was really amazed at the number of people, and it was a specific request for a specific type of person. But it was amazing to see how many people fit that particular request. And I was thinking, I know these people, but I don't follow them. And that's for me because I want to be as authentic to what is being downloaded and channeled to me to deliver to content. So plus, it's a distraction sometimes to follow all of those. So I really believe that this will be my second one, and maybe it might be the most significant one that I've stated so far, is social media is designed to be social and entertainment. When we get, I can tell a new entrepreneur, I did it. You are just doing nothing but pushing, like you said, pushing your thing. Well, after a while, people don't want to just hear that. The only people that can do a lot of just pushing, just advertisements are big brands. If you are a small entrepreneur building, you have to create relationships. And so just following these big brand people, it doesn't work for me because you're not going to get that much relationship there. At this point, a lot of times they've reached a point in their career where they're just telling. And so when you try to take the model of just telling, it does not work.
Right. Yeah. Because people don't know who you are yet.
Right. They haven't connected to you. It's, and, you know, much, much more.
Right. Right. And so that brings me to my second one, which is about having a conversation, having a meaningful dialogue with your customers, having a meaningful dialogue with them. And first of all, you got to have it with yourself, right? But a meaningful dialogue, rather than someone says, you know, hey, Sabira, you know, what is it that you do? And I go, oh, I'm a life coach. Oh, I'm a yogi. That doesn't tell them anything about me. It doesn't tell them anything about my services. It just tells them what I do. And although their words were, what do you do? That's not what they really want to know. What they really are asking is, who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you is what they're really, really asking. And so I'm going to leave that right there. And I'm going to highly, strongly suggest that you come on into the Money Charmer Investment Club, and where we can actually work with you on how you talk about, instead of what you do, who you are, and why they need to know that. There's a particular formula for a conversation that is very natural, organic, and holistic in the way it rolls. It's very conversational. You know, when I say, oh, I'm a yoga instructor or I'm a life coach, that gives us nowhere to go. Their mind says, okay, and we're on to the next thing. That gives us nowhere to go. My job is to keep opening roads, opening windows, opening opportunities for conversation to take it deeper in a way that people feel safe and natural and comfortable. A dialogue. You've got to create space for dialogue. When you do that in the social media environment or in the grocery store line, at a party, wherever the case may be, if you can learn to speak conversationally and open up dialogue between you and others, excuse me, that is a surefire way to sell in a way that actually will get you paid, and you know, is very natural. And that's our whole thing here, you know, to create a new economic reality, being natural, not contrived. And even though it may sound like, you know, because I use the word formula, but listen, nature is about formula, right? The way a tree grows, there's a formula. There's a formula to everything. And it's the relationship with the formula that creates that holistic environment, if that made sense. You may want to break that down for me, teacher, but
well, when we say the word holistic, the key is right there in the etymology of the word, which is whole. And so if you know it aligns with who you are, mind, body, and spirit, then that is the holistic sales.
Yep.
It's an exchange of value for with or about something that aligns with you mind, body, and spirit. And so even with your particular product, it may not be for everybody.
That's right.
And so, you know, your product may be for mothers who experience stretch marks, or children who have eczema. So when you make those kinds of sales, it's going to feel different to you because you know your product, it has a purpose, and it's serving that purpose to the people that you created it for. And it's kind of like okay for you to start, for all of us to start there. And if it grows and expands, the holistic piece is, I guess outside of the formula, that may be what we sometimes see popping off, if you will. And then, sometimes when it's not working to your desire, then it's a good time to go to check in and to investigate the formula that you are using. And that's why having a coach is very, very important. And I don't, I know Sabir does, so I don't even have to ask. She keeps one, I keep one. We check in when we are getting ready to do something new. Whoever is, that's their thing, we'll do it. Now, does that mean that you are forever a student, a consumer rather? No. But sometimes being an entrepreneur is learning and expanding and building on the job all at one time. Learning, expanding, and building at the same time.
It's a feat, I tell you. And I Latanya, I do believe, I know I will always, I'm a forever learner. I was
thinking
learning.
the same thing,
I'm a forever learner. I will always be a student, always, because I want to be expanding. And if the minute I think I know it all, learning stops. That's where I've sold myself out.
I was just about to say the same thing. That can be a place that a person sells themselves out. I think that there may have been a period of time that I did that because and my coach just called me on it this morning, actually.
Okay.
She said to me, she said, I can see you still doing that solopreneur thing. And I said, well, no, not totally. And what she meant by it is just trying to do everything. And for a while, because I've trained in so many different processes and done and invested in books and studied for so long before I jumped out there. And so, if you are looking at Rebirth International or the Rev Coach or whatever, it took years. I was doing this for years of training. And so there was a period of time where I felt like, well, dang, I'm tired of being the consumer. And I think I went overcorrected and went a little bit too long on my own, fell into a habit. And then before you know it, you're just kind of used to doing everything yourself. And what a coach does, particularly around your business, even the spiritual business, a coach always helps you to be able to see what you cannot see. Or give you a fresh perspective of something that's so obvious, but you can't see the forest for the trees. Because we're, as an entrepreneur, a lot of times we're focusing on the administrative processing, whatever it is, the product, the client, the paperwork, the files, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's true. And there's phases, to developing, and I use the word develop. D means kind of like to undo. To take off the envelope, to develop, right? So that you can actually see what's there. It takes a while to do that. And there's always that process of peeling away. So yeah, do I have a coach? Usually I have more than one. I don't know why. I mean, it's just a part of my lifestyle now that it
is. It's a new normal for those of us who've been doing this for a while. It's just a normal. It becomes a normal. And it's great. I love that you say it's just a part of your lifestyle now. And I think we provide that for when you surround yourself. This could be a bonus. When you surround yourself with people who are committed to developing themselves and growing, even if they're not an entrepreneur or if they're not a spiritual entrepreneur, you will stay in a process of learning and growing. And another way to sell yourself out is to dumb down your vision, your ideas, and your desires, because it makes other people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you know, an entrepreneur, it does require a micro focus.
Yep.
And there'll be times when you can't go to the happy hour.
Yep.
You can't go to the party. Now, some of you who have gone on to do advanced degrees while you were raising children or something like that, you may know what I'm talking about. But the same is true. You don't want to sell yourself out, or, you know, by selling out your vision, because you compromise trying to please people. And that period could be 1 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so you may want to get your family prepared, but I think what lit up inside of me is that I feel like whether I have a coach or not, I'm surrounded by a coach rich environment where people are learners and committed to learning and growing. Mm-hmm. And I have personal experience where there are friends who will resent you for always talking about growth and learning or the next thing. And so what do? And for a period of time, I was a diehard Saints fan. Who that? What? You know, somebody who's watching this, who's from that you know, that Saints nation might be surprised that I'm saying that in the past tense. But after I went 100%, I had to look at the amount of time that I was spending and investing in that. Now, yes, do you need a healthy outlet of joy? It absolutely was a healthy outlet of joy. Especially with my Louisiana people, the way we dance and cut up and have a great time.
Y'all got me loving. I love the Saints. I don't even know anything about football, but one of my dear friends lives down. You know, she's from Louisiana, and the minute football season kicks in, it's all about the who dat. I've become an honorary who dat, and just for the party. I don't know.
Ain't no party like a Saints party, because the Saints party don't stop.
Y'all who dat folks are for real.
Yes, in New Orleans, whether you win, whether you lose, it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be food. It's gonna be festivities. In fact, so you're gonna celebrate the win, and you're gonna numb out whatever the feeling of the loss is. So I digress, but my point is, the more I had to begin to root for my own team.
There we go.
I had to start keeping track of when I scored a touchdown. It's just that simple.
Well, and that's deep. That's lovely. That's lovely. Wow. Good. Well, I want to give our viewers an opportunity to score a touchdown in their own life. We're in this as we always do, and that is the Money Charm Investment Club, y'all. Listen, it's real simple. It's real simple. Let me just break this down, how simple this is. Simple. Help yourself. And you do that by paying yourself first. Okay? You make an investment in yourself. And how kind and how nice would it be if you got, I don't know, a couple other friends that are sick and tired of being broke and not being able to figure out how to get their business off the ground and all these things? Wouldn't it be nice if you just shared this information, shared the Money Charmer Investment Club, shared what we're doing here at the Money Charmers, creating a new economic reality with a couple other people? Send them the link to a video. Tell them about the club. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's really just that simple.
1, 2.
1, 2.
You are the 3.
Pay yourself first. Okay? You can't help anybody out there if you haven't helped yourself. So our very first commitment, honestly, you guys, our very first commitment for Latanya and I is to help you create a new economic reality in your own mind and in your own pocketbook. Okay, new economic reality for yourself. And then once you start to actually, as you are beginning to see that happen and how that shifts your life, I trust that you will want to let other people know about what this simple thing is we're doing here. Go out and just share it with a couple people. Tell two people. Tell two people. That's all we're asking. That opens the door to a second level. Okay? Two people opens the door up to a second level for you of coaching for your business. Latanya and I have been there, done that, and we can support you in getting yourself set up in a way that is so simple. Because that's, a new part of a new economic reality is keeping it simple. I think a lot of times, Latanya, you tell me what you think about this, but I think a lot of times
I'm squinting.
these
Let me make
businesses are
sure I
making it
hear.
so they're making it sound like it's so complicated to do, and it keeps people out of the marketplace, right? By making it sound like it's so complicated to do. It ain't complicated, y'all. It's simple. And Latanya and I are here to walk you through a very simple process. Okay?
Yeah, I think that one of the other commitments that they don't know, that people may not know that we made, is that we are not espousing, touting, preaching, representing. We're not selling ourselves out either by trying to take you somewhere that we haven't been. So, yes, there may be something else that resonates with you that, like have 6 figures in 30 days. That's not us. We haven't done that.
Yep.
However, one thing for certain and two things for sure, we know spirituality and how that works and how it has worked in our financial lives and what hasn't worked. And one thing for certain, two things for sure about the money is we know that it is my own natural energy yield. Yep. Back to video number 1.
Yep.
And that alone has made a difference when we have been faced with the very things that we have talked about in this series. And at the end of the day, for us, there is no separation between our financial reality and our spiritual reality. For some, it is, but for us, it's not. And to those people, to those spiritual entrepreneurs, we invite you to the table, whether you have your business set up now or you're planning to do it later.
Yep. So that's it. Real simple. We really don't. And what I love about this is, yes, while there will be an exchange, honestly, what we have to offer you is a community where you can grow, where you can learn, and where you can actually generate an income for yourself. That's what we have to offer, and it to me, that is just so lovely. No whole bunch of hype, no bunch of hyped up promises and pie in the sky. It's a real foundation, real substance that we're offering back, within this community. So it's exciting. And we just, want to make sure that if you want to be a part of it, contact us. Let me go over this way. This backward camera thing is so funny. Here we go. But there's a website right there. Okay. So contact Latanya, contact me.
There we go.
And let us teach you and guide you through a money charm process, a money charm community. Yep. So we'll be back next week on Tuesday with another awesome show for you. We've got, I think, one more week of Selling That Pays. holisticselling.page.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we'll be talking about selling one more week, and come out on your lunch break, join us, and become part of the dialogue, part of the conversation. Any closing words from you, LaTanya?
No, not at this time. Just look forward to seeing who you are. Don't hesitate to send your questions, and just ask.
Yay! Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us, whether it is live or one of the recordings. If you watch this at a later date and time, please share this link with a friend and let some folks know about what we're doing here. Okay. Thanks so much. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.
Wholeness.